Hello and welcome back to another deep dive. It is so wonderful to have you with us today.
It really is.
Whether you're tuning in on your morning commute, maybe you are washing the dishes, or perhaps, and I really recommend this for today's session, you're sitting at your desk with a notebook and a pen ready.
Pen and paper is a good idea today.
We are so glad you're here. I'm Cynthia, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host and expert guide. It is great to see you.
It is great to be here. And I have to say, today feels a little different, doesn't it?
It does.
Usually we're unpacking, complex history or dissecting the latest tech trends.
Geopolitical shifts.
Right. But today feels very personal, much closer to home.
It really does. Very hands-on. Today, we are shifting gears, and pretty significantly. We're kind of taking on a role that's part guide, part coach, and part teacher.
All of the above.
We're doing a dedicated deep dive into English for job interviews. And before you think, oh, I know how to interview, I just need to learn a few fancy words, let me just stop you right there.
Yeah, that's a common misconception.
Because the material we're working with today, it really highlights the vocabulary.
Yeah.
Just, knowing a lot of words
Yeah.
isn't actually the core problem for most people.
Exactly. We're looking at this specifically through the lens of the English learner. But honestly, as I was preparing for this and, reading through our notes, I kept thinking that these principles, they apply to anyone. Native speakers, second language learners, it doesn't matter.
That's so true.
But the stakes they're just significantly higher when English isn't your first language. You have that added layer of translation anxiety sitting right on top of the normal performance anxiety.
Right, it's double the pressure.
Yeah.
So the vibe we want to set today is a classroom,
Okay.
but not the scary kind, where you get yelled at for forgetting your homework or...
We're giving the wrong answer, yeah.
Think of this as a friendly, slow-paced workshop. We're going to be practical. We are going to be real. And we're going to be useful.
That's the goal.
Because, look, here's the problem we need to start with. The core struggle. You might be a genius at what you do. You could be the best coder, the best accountant, the best designer in your country. But
if you cannot communicate that clearly in the interview, none of it matters. You just won't get the job.
it's a harsh reality.
It is. I've worked with learners from all over Brazil, Vietnam, India, Poland, and it's heartbreaking to see someone with perfect technical skills get passed over because of communication barriers.
And it's usually not because their grammar was bad.
Not at all.
But
That's the distinction we really need to make right up front.
it's not about having a perfect accent or memorizing the entire Oxford Dictionary.
Not in the slightest. In fact, most interviewers, they don't mind an accent. An accent just means you speak another language, which is impressive in itself.
It is impressive.
What they mind is confusion. What they mind is the effort, the cognitive load it takes to understand the point you're trying to make.
So if they have to work too hard to understand your value.
They'll just move on to the next candidate. Simple as that. We've actually identified what we call the big 5 struggles.
Right.
These are the things that actually, tank interviews.
Let's run through these big 5, because I bet our listeners will identify with at least one of them. I know I did, and English is my first language.
I'm sure.
Number 1 is structure.
Right. Not knowing how to organize your thoughts. You start talking, and suddenly you're 5 minutes into a story, you've lost the thread, you're talking about something totally different.
And you have no idea what the original question even was.
Exactly. And that lack of structure, it makes you look disorganized in your thinking.
Okay, number 2, the robot voice.
Oh, this is a classic. Using that formal textbook language. I am a professional individual with demonstrated proficiency in the aforementioned skills. It just creates distance. It feels fake. It makes you sound like a spam email rather than a potential colleague they'd want to grab coffee with.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, number 3 is rambling,
including details that nobody asked for.
which I think is usually a symptom of nerves, right?
Oh, absolutely. You're afraid of the silence, so you just keep throwing words into the air, hoping one of them sticks. You keep talking because stopping feels scary.
Number 4, freezing. The brain just goes completely blank under pressure.
The deer in the headlights moment.
Yep. And finally, number 5.
Not asking good questions back. Treating the interview like an interrogation where you're the suspect, not a conversation where you're a participant.
Right. We are going to tackle all of those today. We have a serious lesson plan.
We do.
We're going to break down the anatomy of a perfect answer. We have 7 essential questions that we're going to give you actual scripts for.
And we're going to look at the psychology behind why these answers work.
And we're even going to do some interactive practice and role play.
I am ready for the role play. That's where the theory actually hits the road.
I know you are.
Yeah.
But first, listener, I want you to engage right now. I want you to just think for a second. What is the interview question that scares you the most? Is it, tell me about yourself? Is it, what is your biggest weakness? Just hold that in your head. Or if you can, write it down in the comments or on your notepad. By the end of this deep dive, we want that fear to be gone.
That's the goal.
Also, if you find this helpful, please make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss our future lessons.
All right, let's dive in.
Okay, section 1, the foundation. We're calling this the anatomy of a perfect answer. Before we even get to the specific questions, we have to understand the interviewer's brain.
Yeah, what's going on in their head?
What is going on in there while we're sweating in the chair?
It's actually pretty simple, but candidates often overcomplicate it. The interviewer is not trying to torture you.
It can feel like it.
It can, but they're not looking for a reason to be mean. They have a problem. They have an empty seat, a pile of work, and they need help.
Right.
So they're just trying to answer 3 core questions about you. 1, can you do the job? 2, will you stay?
And 3,
can we work with you?
Can you do it? Will you stay? Can we stand you?
Essentially, yes. That's a good way to put it. And that 3rd one, can we work with you? That's often the tiebreaker.
I bet.
But every single answer you give needs to address those 3 points. The problem is most people give answers that are just random facts. I was born in 1990. I like soccer. I went to this university.
Yeah, that doesn't help me decide if you can do the job.
Not at all. It forces the interviewer to do all the heavy lifting to connect the dots.
So to fix this, we're introducing the magic formula.
A STAR method.
STAR. Now, a lot of people have heard of this in passing, but I feel like very few people actually use it correctly.
I agree completely. It's often taught, but it's rarely mastered. Let's break it down really simply. S stands for situation.
Okay, so this is setting the scene.
Right. And the key here is brevity. 1 or 2 sentences, max. I was working at X company during the holiday rush. Done.
So we don't need the whole history of the company or what the weather was like.
Or what you had for lunch. No. Just set the context, quickly.
Okay, T is for task.
The problem, the challenge, what was it? We were at risk of missing the deadline, or the client was unhappy. This introduces the conflict. Every good story needs a conflict.
That makes sense. A is for action. And this is the most important part, isn't it?
It is the absolute pivot point. The action is what you did.
Not we, not the team.
No, you. A lot of people, especially from cultures that value collective effort, they really struggle here. They'll say, we decided to fix it.
And that tells the interviewer nothing about your role.
Exactly. I need to hear, I proposed a new schedule. You have to emphasize your personal agency. If you say we too much, the interviewer has no idea if you led the project or if you just sat there watching everyone else work.
Okay, got it. And finally, R for result.
What happened? And this needs to be concrete. Numbers, improvements, happy clients. We finished 2 days early. Sales went up 10%.
You have to wrap up the story with a happy ending.
A quantifiable happy ending, if possible.
So STAR, situation, task, action, result. Why does this specific structure work so well? Is it just because it's organized?
It's partly organization, yeah, but there's actually some fascinating neuroscience here.
Oh.
Specific details release dopamine in the interviewer's brain.
Dopamine.
Really?
Yes. Think about it. When you hear a vague story, your brain has to work really hard to fill in the gaps. That creates cognitive load, which feels like anxiety or boredom.
I see.
But when you give specific details, I reduce the wait time from 48 hours to 6 hours. The listener's brain gets a clear, sharp picture.
A little movie in their head.
Exactly. And that clarity feels good. It builds trust. The rule is simple. Specificity equals trust. Vagueness equals suspicion.
Let's test this. We're going to do a little role play.
Okay.
I'll be the candidate giving a bad answer, the kind we hear all the time. You be the expert critique. I'll answer the question. Tell me about a time you solved a problem.
Go for it.
Okay, so I worked on a project recently and it went pretty well. We worked hard and the client was happy. It was a good experience and I learned a lot about problem solving.
Wait, stop. That was painful.
Ugh, I know. It tells me absolutely nothing. I don't see a movie in my head. I see a blur.
Smudge.
Yeah. I don't know if you led the project, if you just made the coffee, or if pretty well means you didn't, burn the building down. It's empty calories. It sounds nice, but there is zero substance.
Okay, fair. Now let me try to apply STAR to that same story.
Let's hear it.
Situation. I led a team project to improve customer service.
Okay, clear.
Task. We weren't meeting response time targets. We were averaging 48 hours per reply.
Good. A specific problem.
Action. I analyzed the workflow and created a new ticketing system that prioritized urgent queries. I trained the team on the new software.
Nice. I did this. I did that.
Result. Within 3 months, we reduced response time from 48 hours to 6 hours, and client retention rose by 15%.
Huge difference, night and day.
Right.
I can see it now. I see the problem, the 48 hours. I see you stepping in, the new system, the training, and I see the metric, 6 hours and 15%. I believe you now.
It's like the difference between saying, I cooked dinner, and saying, I made a 3-course lasagna from scratch.
Exactly. Details convince people. They really do.
There's a great memory trick for STAR. STAR stands for Story That Answers Requirements.
I like that a lot. It reminds you that you aren't just telling a story for fun. You are telling a story that proves you meet the requirements of the job.
We have a really compelling case study about a woman named Maria. She was a designer.
Right, Maria, she was struggling. In her interview, she kept saying things like, I have experience with branding. Very generic.
And she wasn't getting offers.
No. So we coached her to use STAR. She changed her answer to, I rebranded a struggling restaurant. That's the situation in Task. The owner was losing customers. I redesigned the logo and social media strategy. That's the action.
And the result?
Within 6 months, their Instagram followers went from 300 to 8,000, and foot traffic went up 40%.
Oh, wow. From 300 to 8,000.
She got 3 job offers that month. Her English didn't get better overnight.
Her structure did.
Exactly. She stopped making the interviewer guess how good she was, and she started proving it.
That is the takeaway.
Yeah.
You don't need to memorize the dictionary. You just need to organize your thoughts.
Precisely.
Okay, I want to try something interactive here. Listener, I want you to pause for just a second mentally, or actually hit pause on your device. Think of a recent project you worked on. Can you put it into STAR? 1 sentence for situation, 1 for task, 1 for action, and 1 for result.
Take your time.
Okay, hopefully you did that. Do you feel how much clearer that is? It forces you to cut out all the fluff.
And that clarity is confidence. When you know where your sentence is going, you speak more fluently because you're not searching for the next idea.
Let's move to section 2 then, the opening move. The question that starts almost every single interview. Tell me about yourself.
The dreaded open-ended question.
Why is this one so scary for people?
Because it feels like they're asking for your entire life story. People think they need to start with, I was born in a small village.
I have 2 cats.
I enjoy long walks on the beach. Exactly. But let's decode the question. They are not asking for an autobiography.
So what are they really asking?
They're secretly asking, why are you the right person for this specific job?
Okay, so the wrong approach then is the resume reciter.
Oh, yes.
Hi, I'm Mohammed. I'm from Egypt. I studied at Cairo University. I like sports.
It is death by PowerPoint. They have your resume right there in front of them. Do not read it to them. You're wasting the most valuable seconds of the entire interview, the first impression.
So what's the formula? We have a 3-part structure to answer this perfectly.
It's the background, boast, bridge method, and it should take about 60 to 90 seconds. No more than that.
Okay, walk us through it. Part 1, background.
This is your professional past. Keep it to about 20 seconds. I've been a software engineer for 7 years, specializing in web apps. Just the headlines that are relevant to this job.
Part 2, boast.
This is your present, your key skills and achievements, and this is where you use a mini STAR. I'm particularly proud of leading a project that reduced support tickets by 35%.
Okay.
This is about 40 seconds. This is where you prove you're competent.
And part 3, bridge. This is the future.
Yes, you connect it all to them. I'm applying here because I see you're expanding into open source, and I want to bring my experience to that team.
Background, boast, bridge, past, present, future.
It's a perfect narrative arc.
Let's look at some sample scripts, because seeing this in action really helps. Here's one for a career changer. Someone moving from customer service to marketing. This is often a tough pivot to explain.
It is. Read it out and let's analyze it.
For the past 5 years, I've worked in customer service, which gave me deep insight into what customers actually need. 2 years ago, I decided to transition into marketing because I realized I could reach customers before they become frustrated. I completed a digital marketing certification, and since then, I've managed social media for a local nonprofit, growing their monthly engagement from 2,000 to 18,000 impressions. I'm drawn to your company because you focus on customer-first marketing, which is exactly how I think about communication.
That is beautiful. Just beautiful. Look at what they did there. They didn't apologize for being in customer service.
No, they framed it as an asset. I know what customers need.
Exactly. And that phrase, I realized I could reach customers before they become frustrated.
That explains the career change perfectly. It's not, I hated answering phones.
No, it's I wanted to solve the problem earlier in the chain. It shows strategic thinking. And did you notice the numbers?
2,000 to 18,000 impressions.
Specificity creates trust.
Let's do one for an entry-level candidate, a recent grad. This is hard because they don't have a lot of past.
True, but they have potential, and they can show it. Let's hear the script.
I recently completed my degree in business administration, and I've been looking for a position where I can apply what I've learned while growing professionally. I did an internship at Company X, where I analyzed sales data and identified a marketing opportunity that led to $15,000 in additional revenue. Although I'm early in my career, I bring enthusiasm, attention to detail, and a genuine desire to learn from experienced professionals like your team. I'm attracted to your company's mission specifically because...
Perfect. Just perfect. They highlighted the internship. They didn't say, I just have an internship. They said, I found an opportunity that made $15,000.
That's value.
Even if you're young, money talks. That number catches attention.
We have some power phrases to help you sound natural here. Instead of just saying, I am good at, you can say,
Over the past 5 years, I've specialized in.
or I'm particularly proud of. That frames it as a real achievement, not just a job duty.
Yeah, it has a different weight to it.
Or what drew me to apply. These phrases act like signposts. They guide the listener and tell them where you're going next in your story.
And remember the story of Priya. She was a lawyer moving into compliance. She kept giving this 5-minute history of her legal career. She felt guilty for leaving law.
We all have that guilt when we pivot. It feels like we somehow failed at the first thing.
We do. But the advice was simple. Cut the apology. Frame the change as a strategy.
So what did she say?
She changed her answer to say, I realized I was most energized by the compliance aspect of my cases, not the litigation.
Oh, that's good.
Suddenly, she's not a failed lawyer. She's a focused compliance expert.
That is a mindset shift as much as it is a language shift.
100%. It's all in the framing.
Okay, listener, here's another interactive moment.
Yeah.
I want you to mentally draft your background, boast, bridge. What's your headline? What's your one big achievement?
The one you're most proud of.
And why do you want this job? Put those 3 pieces together and you have your answer.
You're ready for the first question.
Moving on to section 3, the motivation check. The question is, why do you want this job?
Yes. The trap question.
Why is it a trap?
Because companies are terrified of one thing. The candidate who just wants a job. Any job. A candidate who just wants a paycheck.
So the wrong answer is, well, I need to pay my rent. Or,
It seemed like a good opportunity. Or the other one I hear a lot, I want to learn.
it sounds nice though. I want to learn.
It sounds nice, doesn't it? But to a company, I want to learn sounds like, I want you to pay me to go to school.
Ouch.
They want someone who can contribute right now, not just absorb resources.
Okay, so the strategy is specific plus strategic. And again, we have 3 elements.
We do. Number 1, specific detail. You have to mention something real about the company. I saw on the news that you're opening a new office in Brazil. It proves you Googled them for more than 5 seconds.
Number 2, goal alignment.
Right. How does that fit your career? I've been working on Portuguese localization for the last 2 years.
And 3, contribution. This is the key. What do you give?
Let's focus on that give versus get concept for a second.
Please do.
This is maybe the biggest mindset shift for learners. Instead of saying, this job will teach me so much, you need to say, this role lets me contribute my expertise to your goal.
You are there to solve their problem.
Precisely. You're the solution.
Let's look at a financial services example.
Okay.
I'm interested in this analyst position specifically for 3 reasons. First, I followed your company's recent shift toward digital banking, and I think there's a real opportunity to optimize the customer onboarding process through data analysis, something I did in my last company, reducing onboarding time by 40%.
Stops there for a second, see the balance. It starts with, I followed your shift. That proves research. Then, I did this at my last company. That proves capability.
It's not just flattery, it's evidence.
Exactly. It's flattery backed by data.
There's a memory trick for this one too, the 3 R's.
Research. Did you do your homework? Relevant. Is your skill actually relevant to them? And return value. What do you give back to the company?
I love that. Return value, it makes it transactional in a healthy business-like way.
It shows you're thinking like a partner, not just an employee.
Okay, section 4. This is where it gets tricky. The behavioral test. Tell me about a challenge you faced.
The stress question.
They're testing 3 things here: problem solving, responsibility, and emotional maturity.
Basically, they want to know, when things go wrong, and they always will go wrong, do you panic?
Do you blame others?
Or do you fix it?
The biggest red flag here is either the fake hero or the victim.
Oh, yeah. The victim says, my boss was an idiot and gave me impossible deadlines. Even if it's true, you can't say that in an interview. It makes you sound toxic and unprofessional.
And the fake hero.
The fake hero says, I never have challenges because I am perfect, which just makes you look like a liar.
So we use STAR again here, but we add a little twist.
Right. It's STAR plus accountability.
So, situation, brief, no drama, task, action, he took responsibility, result, and the twist.
The twist is, lesson learned. What did you take away from it?
Let's look at the communication issue case study. This is a classic misunderstanding scenario.
Here's how it goes. The candidate says, there was a deadline misunderstanding. I thought we had 4 weeks. The client thought we had 2. Instead of blaming my manager for not telling me, I broke down the deliverables, prioritized the essential parts, and communicated with complete transparency to the client. We delivered the core work on time.
Okay, that's a good STAR answer. But where's the lesson?
Here's the magic part. You add, I learned that checking expectations is my responsibility, not just my manager's.
That is such a mature answer. Checking expectations is my responsibility.
It shows you don't hold grudges. You don't blame. You build systems to prevent future errors. You're solution-oriented.
There's another great story here about Carlos. Carlos thought the best answer was just, I worked all night.
Oh, Carlos. A lot of people think this. I stayed up for 48 hours straight to finish the project. He thought he sounded dedicated, like a hero, a warrior.
But the expert told him,
You sound like you have no boundaries and you don't know how to manage your time.
ouch, the truth hurts.
It does, because if you have to stay up all night, it means something in the process failed earlier.
So how did they reframe it?
Instead of, I worked all night, he focused on how he negotiated a realistic timeline. He said, I told the client, we can do A and B in this time frame, but C will take an extra week to ensure quality.
That's leadership.
That is leadership. That's saying no to protect the quality of the work.
Let's do a quick vocabulary check here.
No.
Use verbs like recognized, adjusted, prioritized.
These are active verbs. I recognized the problem. I adjusted the schedule. I prioritized the tasks. They show you are in the driver's seat of your career.
Okay, section 5, the trap question to end all trap questions. What is your biggest weakness?
If you ask 100 people this, I swear 90 of them will say, I'm a perfectionist.
Or I work too hard, or I just care too much about the success of the company.
It's the humble brag. My only flaw is that I'm actually too good.
It's so annoying.
Interviewers hate it because it feels completely dishonest.
So what are they actually looking for? They aren't looking for a reason to fire you.
No, they're looking for self-awareness. That's it. Can you admit you are not perfect? And more importantly, do you have a plan to fix it?
So the winning formula is real weakness plus why it's hard plus action taken to fix it.
And evidence of improvement. That action part is what saves you.
You can admit to being bad at public speaking as long as you say,
So I joined Toastmasters. Or I volunteered to present at team meetings to get practice.
let's look at the James story. This one is funny because it's so relatable. James was actually, well, he was lazy.
Well, specifically lazy about boring administrative tasks, which, to be fair, a lot of creative people are, but you can't go into an interview and say, I'm lazy.
No, that's career suicide.
So they reframed it. The truth was, I lose momentum on routine tasks. That's the weakness.
Okay, that sounds better already.
The fix was, so I built strict systems and checklists to ensure I follow through on the admin work. Now, the weakness isn't laziness, it's needing structure. And he provides his own structure. I built systems. That sounds like a project manager.
That's brilliant. It turns a personality flaw into a process improvement.
Exactly.
What's another real example?
Process perfectionism. Admitting you sometimes slow things down because you want it to be perfect.
The fix for that?
The fix is learning to work with minimum viable plans. You can say, I've learned that sometimes done is better than perfect, and to focus on hitting deadlines first. That shows growth and maturity.
The memory trick here is the 3 R's again, but they're different ones.
Real, reparable, and results.
It has to be a real weakness.
It has to be irreparable, something you can actually fix.
And you have to show results that you're getting better.
You're actively working on it.
Section 6.
Ow.
The stability check. How do you handle stress?
And here's a reality check for everyone listening. Do not say, I don't get stressed.
I'm just chill all the time. Nothing bothers me.
You're lying. Everyone gets stressed. If you say you don't, I assume you either don't care about your work or you're just not paying attention.
So the goal is to show you have a strategy.
Yes. The framework is pressure, process, performance.
Okay, break that down.
Acknowledge the pressure. Yes, we had a very tight deadline on the last project.
Describe your process.
To manage that, I broke the project down into daily milestones. I made sure to go for a 15-minute walk at lunch to reset my head and stay focused.
And then show the performance.
It worked, we stayed on track, and we delivered the project successfully.
I really like the specifics of the process examples here. I make lists, I communicate constraints early, I take mental health walks.
It humanizes you. It shows you know yourself. If you say something like, I've realized my stress actually sharpens my focus as long as I'm prepared, that's a power move.
How so?
It says, I can use stress as fuel. I'm not afraid of it.
Section 7. The final impression. The interview is almost over and they ask, do you have any questions for us?
Please, listener, whatever you do, never ever say, no, I'm good.
Why is that so bad? It feels polite.
It implies you're not curious. It implies you haven't really thought about what it would be like to actually work there. It is the fastest way to kill a good vibe right at the end of an interview.
But you also shouldn't ask the wrong questions, right? So how much vacation time do I get in the first interview?
Or, what exactly does your company do?
Oh, no.
You should have Googled that before you walked in the door.
So we have 3 categories of good questions. 1 is role and expectations.
2 is culture.
And 3 is growth.
For role, my favorite question of all time is, what does success look like in the first 90 days of this position?
Why is that one so good?
Because it forces the interviewer to visualize you in the job, being successful. You're literally asking them to imagine you working there, and it tells you exactly what they want you to achieve.
That's smart. For culture, you could ask.
How does the team handle collaboration and feedback?
And for growth, how does the company support professional development and learning?
The story of David is great here. David was always too nervous to ask questions at the end.
He was afraid of asking a dumb question.
Exactly. So he just stayed silent. And I told him, David, silence is the dumbest question of all.
So what did he do?
He prepared a question about technology changes in their industry. He asked, how is the team adapting to the new changes in the tech stack?
And what happened?
Suddenly, he wasn't a nervous applicant anymore. He was a peer. He was an equal, discussing industry trends. It changed the entire dynamic of the conversation.
That's the secret, isn't it? Changing the dynamic from teacher and student to professional and professional.
That's the whole game.
You've covered the structure.
Yeah.
Now let's do a quick common mistakes deep dive. These are the things that are really specific to language learners. Mistake number 1. Sounding like a robot.
I am a professional individual with demonstrated proficiency in.
It sounds like a spam email.
It does. It happens because we learn formal English in school. We think big words equals smart.
Right.
But in an interview, natural equals confident.
So instead of I demonstrated leadership,
Just say, I led a team.
and use contractions. Say I'm instead of I am. Say it's instead of it is.
Yes. Please, be a human, not a textbook.
Mistake number 2. The parrot effect.
This is when you just repeat the exact word they used. The interviewer says, we really value innovation.
And the candidate says, yes, I am very innovative. Innovation is important to me.
It's empty. It doesn't mean anything.
So what's the fix?
Acknowledge and then give an example. Innovation is important. For example, at my last job, I proposed a new workflow that cut our project time by 20%. Don't just say the word, prove the word.
Mistake number 3. Pacing and pausing.
The speed talker. You get nervous, so you try to get all the words out in one single breath.
Or the opposite, where you pause in the
It is-
middle of your sentences.
Which sounds very uncertain. The rule is simple. Pause after a thought. Pause before a big number.
How does that sound?
You'd say, and in the end, we saved. You pause for a beat. $50,000.
That pause adds so much weight.
It does. It lets the listener catch up and absorb the impact of what you just said.
We are coming to the end of our deep dive. This has been a massive amount of information. Let's recap the golden rules.
Okay, number 1. The STAR method is universal. Use it. STAR.
2. Structure is more important than perfection.
You don't need perfect grammar. You need a clear structure. 3. Specificity equals trust. Give me numbers. Give me details.
4. Research equals respect. Know who you are talking to.
And 5. It's about them, not you. Flip the script. What do you contribute to them?
And what about the big mindset shift?
Interviews are conversations, not interrogations. You're interviewing them too. If you go in with that sense of curiosity, the fear just disappears.
We have some homework for you. We always like to leave you with something to do.
Actionable steps.
First, pick one question we discussed today, just one, and write a STAR answer for it.
Second, research one company you're interested in for just 10 minutes. Find one specific news item about them.
And third, if you can, leave a comment below or just tell a friend. What is your biggest fear about interviews? Naming the fear really does help kill it. Your English is good enough. I really believe that after going through all this material, the problem isn't the vocabulary.
It's the structure. And now you have the structure.
You have the tools. Now you just need to practice using them.
That's it. Practice, practice, practice.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. It was a bit different, a bit more instructional, but I think incredibly valuable.
I hope so. Good luck out there. You've got this.
See you next time.